Hi everybody, I'm Liz and welcome to my studio. So happy Thursday, almost 4th of July. Hope everybody has some fun plans. I am going to mix up some paint for a 20-inch by 20-inch bloom. And over the last couple weeks I've done some paintings that I really liked, and I'm going to kind of try to do something similar in the color scheme, but try out some new variations of color. And I'm adding a little pink into this one, which I didn't have. I had a little bit more purple, so still keeping some of the purple, but adding some pink. So I thought what I would do first is take you through how I mix it up and what I'm looking for as far as what colors I'm using, what I like the consistency to be. And I was looking on the Triart course members page, and somebody had some questions about what the mixing ratios are, and all the comments were different. Everybody used something different. So I realized my ratios are different as well. So I thought I would go ahead and share with you what I do, and then we'll go ahead and do a painting. Okay, so I'm using a combination of mica pigments from Arte and from this little piggy, which is Fluid Art Co. So I'll go through and tell you what I'm going to do. I've got Arts. If I could read. Okay, I have to look at the bottoms. I've got Plumeria by Arte. And then I have Jasmine. I have Iris Petal by Arte. Crescendo by this little piggy. Algae by this little piggy. Teal by Golden. Golden Yellow by Triart. And Ore by this little piggy. And then I also, that's kind of thick. I don't think I'm going to use that. So that's it. All right, so when mixing the mica pigments, and really, especially this little piggy, I feel like you have to use some of this Josanya, and I don't know if it has to be Josanya. That's just what she recommended a long time ago, and it works. So probably any kind of just a gloss varnish would work, but I found that they don't disperse very well unless you first disperse them in a varnish. And then, since I like all of the colors to have the same components and the same consistency, I go ahead and put a little varnish even in the tube paints. So anyway, so first that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not big on exact ratios, so I squirt enough of the varnish on the bottom to be able to mix the pigments into. So it's not much. I mean, it's really just like a little squirt on the bottom, but it covers the whole bottom. So do that. And as you can see, I have more containers than I have cups, and that's because I am going to combine some of these. Okay, so that's enough of the Josanya. And let's see, taking a good amount. So these are those little dollar store spoons. They are the best things to use because they completely, you dip them in water when you're done and they wipe off so easily. There's like nothing to the cleanup and you can automatically reuse them. Okay, so I'm gonna change my mind. This is so beautiful. This is that Plumeria. And I don't know if you can see in the, it has so much shine and it's such a deep color. I wanted a little bit of a light flush color on top of it for some added sparkle. So I think what I'm gonna do is instead, I've got this golden peach from this little piggy, and I'm going to mix it with that instead. All right, so like I said, I just took this out of water. You wipe it off and it's like a brand new spoon. So, I don't know. I've never mixed them together before, so we'll see how it works out. Experimenting. And once again, right now, all I have in it is just the Jasanya, and you have to be careful when you mix. I don't have a mask on, but I'm careful to kind of keep it away from my face. This stuff is real flyaway, and you don't want mica pigments down in your lungs. Okay, so that's pretty. So it ended up making it more of a kind of a peachy color, but a peachy pink, which I really like. Okay, so that's fine for that. Then for this, I wanted the darker color, which I can't even remember what I said it was. Something. Let's see. I'll look at it in just a minute. So just carefully dig around the sides and disperse it in the Jasanya. What was this? Okay, this is Iris Petal. It's actually just a beautiful blue too. So this is what that looks like. And what I want on top of it is this Crescendo. That is what it's called. And it looks like kind of like a purple pigment, but when I used it before, it just gave this shine on top of all of it, and it shimmered everywhere. So we're gonna use that. But in order to dissolve this much pigment in one of these little things, you do have to add enough Jasanya. And once you get it all dissolved, then it holds its color after you add your ultra deep base. It doesn't take its color away, which for the longest time I had trouble with that happening. Okay, so now this is toned down and has this beautiful purple shimmer on top of it. Okay. Next on my list is Algae, which doesn't look like algae at all. It's beautiful and super sparkly. It's very similar to the abalone, which is what I used in the other paintings, but somehow it seems like it has a little bit more of a pearlescence. It's sweaty in here, which I'll show you. Okay, see that? It's very pearlescent. Okay, now our basic golden teal, which I seem to love all the time and everything. And you don't have to add varnish to your tube paint, but it just makes it glide a little bit better, like the mica pigments, and blend a little bit better. So that's why I like it. This was a recent discovery thanks to Jessica with Winterstrom Art. She was using it the other day and it looked so gorgeous, I bought it. And ever since they stopped making my favorite quinacridone nickel azo gold, which I have maybe a drop in here, I've been searching for a suitable substitute. And so far, this is my favorite one that I found. Better than Golden's Azo Gold. So that is what I have in here. All right. All right. Last but not least, this little piggy ore. And it gives a nice golden shimmer to everything, once again, without really being that dramatic as far as the gold goes. You know, if you're wanting a metallic painting, you're going to want to use like iridescent bright gold. But if you want kind of a golden shimmer through things, then you don't want something that's going to take over quite so much. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't add a little bit of the gold to it if you want, which I'm debating. Okay, but it is a beautiful, beautiful gold. So there we go. Those are our colors right now. So what I do next is, and I'm just going to do it with one, and then we'll just speed things up and move on. So I add the triple thick polyacrylic next, and unlike all the other recipes, I add it in equal amounts. Hold on, I need a cup. Equal amounts to my ultra deep base. Just makes it a little bit easier to pour out of. So I'm adding a tablespoon in each one. Stuff is so expensive, you do not want to waste any of it. It's ridiculous. All right, so, but I just get it at Home Depot. Okay, and then just mix these up again, and this again helps with the dispersion of the rest of the pigments so that you don't get any undissolved pigments. See what this does to the tube paint? It really helps to thin it out and make it flow beautifully instead of being kind of thick and goopy. That one's a little bit thicker, but okay. God, everything looks gorgeous. All right. When you're choosing your mixture of pigments and tube paints, you always do want to choose at least one or two tube paints. It's just knowing what they're going to do. Your mica pigments are fully transparent, and except for the fluorescence, they're opaque. But in general, your mica pigments are going to blend and have more of a watercolory effect, whereas your tube paints, especially this is an opaque, this teal, and this is, I believe, a semi-transparent or transparent. Let's see if it even says light fastness, blah, blah, blah. Well, I've used it. It's pretty transparent. So, but it's going to, these are going to end up being more dominant colors in the painting no matter what, just because they're tube paints. Anyway, so next is to add the ultra deep base. So I used just this PPG Speed Hide ultra deep base. You have to use, I guess either it's called base C or ultra deep base. It has no titanium white in it. If you use anything that has any titanium white in it, it will wreck all of your colors and you won't get any shimmer, and so you have to be careful with that. So once again, like I said, I use equal amounts. I did add a little bit of water to thin the base a little bit. It's still pretty thick, so it's the only thing that's really giving your paint substance, your color substance. So it needs to be a little, have a little body, but I don't want it to be too thick. All right, last one. Definitely last but not least. Okay. There we go. Back in here. Let that drain out. Okay, and quick mix again. And so you can see that because I got really good dispersion of the pigments before I mix the ultra deep base, I still have good color and good shimmer in the pigments. And that's what you want. For the longest time, I had trouble with things changing color and not being shimmery, until I kind of figured it out. I'll speed this up and we'll just get through this, and then we'll be ready to cover a canvas and create a beautiful painting. Really important to get it very well mixed. And really rub the sides. Make sure you're getting all those beautiful pigments in there. See how you do get this yellow that breaks through in here, which is what you really want. Can't really see it, I guess, that well. But You know you've got your mixture right if your gold still looks gold and hasn't turned into just like a beige thing. So there you still got a shimmery gold. One more step before we start the painting. We need to make up the cell activator. So I'm using the Australian Floetrol. Got to shake really, really well. I have not strained it, but it doesn't seem to be goopy, or definitely not as goopy as like the American Floetrol. So, I, once again, don't really measure that much, but I will try. Let's see. Okay, what can I use? I'll do it like this. We'll do measurements. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to make up enough that I can fill up my little squirt bottle. This is, worn off, but it's Amsterdam acrylic black. I can't remember. It's not Mars black. It's the other one. But I'm going to put a tablespoon of this in my cup. I'm going to use a stir stick instead of the spoon, so I can get this all out of here without making a giant mess. All right, black paint. I don't know what it is about black paint that just, any other color doesn't make you feel like it's so messy, but black paint does. All right, and then I use a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio depending on how thick it is, and I'll show you how I test it, but pretty heavy dose. But see, there's some leftover stuff in there. 2. All right, so I'm gonna test it at that point. Try to get the rest of this out now. Get it off the sides. The cell activator really needs whipped up. The fresher it is, if you're doing a big painting, doing something that you're wanting to, you know, not run the risk of having kind of weak cell activator, I would always make it up fresh. Okay, that's thin and it's perfect. See how it springs back to the spoon? That's what you want to see. So it goes like that, and then it's really springy. That's perfect. All right, so now ready to look at the base paint. Okay, so today for the base paint, I have Glidden Essentials in semi-gloss or gloss? Semi-gloss. So it's just basic white house paint, inexpensive as you can find. It really, it just needs to have the right consistency, and this, the lesser expensive house paints tend to be thinner, and so it works pretty well. So really, as I mix this up, I don't think I'm gonna need to add any water to it. See, it's pretty thin. And I'm going to put a little extra here. And let's hope this is enough, because That's all the Glidden I have. I do have a little bit of something else left over. I'm just hoping I won't need it. All right, next up. Okay, so colors are all mixed up, and I've got my 20 by 20 inch canvas here. Got all of our colors. Seeing a little tray right here. So this is the colors for the evening. Black cell activator, and got our white base, and it's a nice thin consistency. So makes a little puddle, not much. All right, so what am I gonna do? I'm going to pour a nice pillow right in the middle with our pillow paint. And even though this table is supposed to be level, things tend to run toward me, it seems. So I'll have to watch it. I've got this little scooping tool to try to keep it all tucked in. As far as the order goes, let me check the thickness of the paints. This seems good. I'm going to get plenty of paint to it. Right, so that's our golden yellow. Hopefully that's enough. What do I want to do next? I think I'm gonna go, I think I'll use the Plumeria and golden peach mixture on it. See how it's running just a little bit this way? So just move this out of the way. Turn it the other way. All right. Then, what do I want? I think I'll put some gold on. And really, I think I'll just go ahead and pour. The center. Pop little bubbles. Okay. Now, come in with the turquoise. Iris petal. Ooh, little rat. Didn't want that. And better hold that up. The algae. Like I said, what a weird name for this, huh? Doesn't look like algae at all. And some more gold. All right. Plenty of paint. Pretty much centered. Let me kind of get it maybe a little back that way. All right, I'm gonna clear my colors out of the way. All right. Usually, I mean, I love this blow dryer, and I wish I could tell you what kind it is, but it is so covered with paint that I can't remember. But it has a nice low, I'm sorry, it has a nice low setting and cool, which is what you want. So I'm going to put the cell activator here in the middle. About at that ratio. Get that out of the way, and then let's blow it out. Come down and kind of catch it. Heat's not showing up very much, but it hopefully will when it spins out. That's a pretty one. Yes. Let that settle up a little bit. Okay, I know the camera's a little off, but all right. You can torch lightly just to get rid of some of your bubbles. But you don't want to torch too much, not like you do a Dutch pour. Okay, let's give it just a little spin and see what we want to do with the composition. Ooh, I like it. So it moves pretty slowly. You might want to add a little bit of paint to it. Try to get it a little bit more well-centered. And let's see. Good thing. Yes. All right, looking very pretty. Let's see. The only thing about these square canvases is you do get a very central design, which is good sometimes if you want it, and this looks very pretty, so I guess we'll go with it. I could have tilted it a little bit more. Might need just a little bit of paint over here. All right, really good spin. All right, how about the other way? Okay. All right. Very nice. You let this run off the sides. Kind of just run your finger along the edges. Helps it go. I just don't want to mess up the beautiful designs on the side, which I will take you down to show you in just a minute. Give it one more little spin, maybe the other direction. Yeah, the paint's still flowing off, so you want to make sure you spin it enough to get enough paint off so that you don't have crazy cracking. And I think that'll do it. All right, I will take off these gloves and give me a minute. I'll bring you down for a closer look. Okay, so here it is. Really came out pretty. I think I like the little touch of peachy pink added in. Here it is kind of from a distance. And then I'll zoom in. And you know these, all the metallics come out, of course, after it dries. And then you can decide how you want to finish it. If you want to go with an epoxy coat or just a gloss varnish or a matte varnish, satin, whatever you want. But some sort of a gloss varnish usually helps bring out the metallics and the colors. But I'm really happy with it, and I'm so glad you joined me. So let me turn you around. Thank you so much for coming to the studio and helping me feel good about my art and paint a little tonight. I love doing it. See you next time. Bye.